You may have heard that the day before yesterday, the Belgian Parliament approved, well, in a first step, that as of 2000 and I think it's 17, companies will be obliged, stock-listed companies will be obliged to have at least 1/3 female representation in their boards. So normally it takes a long time in Belgium to get anything approved, let alone to form a government, but at least as far as this is concerned, my country is not lagging behind, because we already have that legislation in Norway, France and Spain. And I'm delighted with it, because this is actually nothing to do with being nice to women or political correctness or social fairness. This is pure business. Women in business is not a diversity issue. Women in business is pure business. So there's a lot of research that if you have a more balanced decision-making body, and that is to say a more distributed leadership between feminine and masculine energies and concerns, that you simply have better results. I'm for the system because if we really think that things will happen automatically or naturally or organically, we have seen for 20 years that the numbers don't change. If they do anything, they actually decrease rather than improve. Women are not very good at putting themselves on the radar. Women don't like to promote themselves. So what you hear a lot is that, oh yes, we've just appointed this or this director, and again it's a man because we couldn't find a woman, they say. Well, they didn't look for the women, and women don't actually surface spontaneously. So you have to go and look for them, because they are definitely there. But what we see with women is that they want to be absolutely sure, they are convinced they will do a good job. So if they see a vacancy somewhere, they will want to meet the criteria for 95% before they apply. That's definitely not the case with men. But this is mirrored by the people who fill the vacancies, or the people who actually do recruit, because if it's a woman who applies, they will want 95% of the criteria to be met, whereas they are more lenient with male candidates. So there is an imbalance there. There's something in our culture, there's something in our genes that says, yeah, better not make myself too visible, but that's not the way things work in the world. Women really have to build their social capital. You know, they have cultural capital, definitely, and they definitely are ahead of men when it comes to emotional capital. But when it comes to social capital, they lag behind, and therefore that quota system will help them to be more comfortable to come to the front. Well, if you have more ordinary, talented, successful women at the top of companies, and not these super women alone who combine 37 jobs and positions and still look wonderful and, you know, have a well-oiled household, etc., etc. Women don't associate themselves with those sorts of token women. They want to see normal women who struggle with kids, who struggle with their husbands sometimes, right? But people who have a normal life and professional satisfaction. That's what I want to see. And if you have more women like that at the top of companies, it will inspire other women to also have a go at it. And together, they can change the culture. We've been researching what that leadership program should contain for about 3 years. We've looked at all the challenges that professional women face as they climb up the corporate ladder, so to speak. So the result of all this research and the result of our puzzle is called Brand Me. And the tagline of Brand Me is a journey through choices for talented women. Brand Me is in the first place a program that helps women to rediscover their powerful selves. That seems to be a huge problem for many women. They never actually work on themselves. They always serve, you know, their families, their companies, but seldom themselves. So you will hear a lot of women say like, oh, my career, it really happened to me because I met so-and-so and I got this offer, etc., etc. But they were never at the steering wheel of their own lives and their own careers. So what we want to do or want to achieve with Brand Me is to help women really find out what they are good at, what they are not so good at, how they can maximize their strengths, and how they can minimize, you know, their weaknesses, but to have them come up with a plan for themselves. And that's why we call it Brand Me. You know, think of yourself as a living brand. How will you position yourself? After having done this personal mastery work, how will you position yourself? What conversations are you going to have with whom? What are you going to try to avoid that makes you, you know, makes functioning difficult for you now? How are you going to improve your work-life balance? What are you going to do about it? What are the next steps, etc., etc.? So it's very difficult to do that on your own, and that's why we have a magnificent cast of facilitators in the program that really help women, you know, to achieve that and to get to that plan. The program is called Brand Me because after having done a lot of research as to what a leadership program which is of interest to women, because mind you, women don't like to be addressed as women when they're in a leadership position. They like to be addressed as talent, as competent leaders, but you know, the female issue is very controversial. You know, why do you ask me that question? Why do you never ask a man how he combines, you know, work life and family, etc., etc.? Why do women always get that question? So it's a controversial thing for women. And therefore, if you do a leadership program for women, you have to really know what is of interest to women. You have to really know how skeptical talented women are towards the subject, right? You have to counter all of this in a professional way, and an informative way, and an entertaining way, and yet bring something that they need. And what they need is personal mastery. Really being confident in your own strengths, but also be aware of your own weaknesses and how you maximize the strengths and are able to avoid or minimize the weaknesses.